Right, and guys, let's just get straight into this one. Today we're going to be talking about Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. It's in the headlines all over the place. It's going to be the next big fight. God knows how we've actually came to this place in boxing, but you know, a big part of me actually wants this as well, alright, and I'll explain in a few moments. So, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul. Let's just get straight into it. Who do I think's going to win? Well, that's an easy one, guys. If you haven't worked this out yet, if you truly haven't been thinking about the whole dynamic of the Jake Paul saga, the Jake Paul era, Jake Paul will win this fight, and here's my reasons why. It's got nothing to do with boxing, it's got nothing to do with talent, it's got nothing to do with who's going to be the better man on the night. It's got everything to do with boxing politics, and not even boxing politics in this case, it's more like showbiz politics, because that's what it is. Now, if you think about it logically, alright, Jake Paul, I think he's had 5 fights or something, he's won 5 fights, he hasn't really fought anyone that could do him any damage, and even if he did, could they? Would they? That's the question that people need to ask. The amount of money that's flying around now in the Jake Paul world, I generally believe at this point, these fights are fixed, these fights are meant to go in Jake Paul's favour, and he's doing that with the leverage of money, alright? Money talks. Now, Tommy Fury, he comes from a fighting family. He comes from the Gypsy King's bloodline, our very own Tyson Fury. But does that mean he's going to win the fight? I think he has every potential to, and on paper, if you look at his lineage, if you look at the fact that he's been wearing gloves, fighting, boxing as a gypsy for, you know, the best part of 20 years, all of his life, pretty much this guy has been involved in the boxing scene in some way, shape or form. So on paper he should win. But if you look at the prize draw, the person who brings in the money every single time, it's not Tommy Fury, unfortunately, alright? It's Jake Paul. And Jake Paul can generate money time after time after time. It's just as simple as that. So if you look at the longevity out of this, what's boxing gonna get from it? Well, boxing gets nothing really, alright? The money goes straight into the back pocket of Jake Paul, the promoters, and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's getting over £1 million, I think, or $1 million either or. So he's happy. He's went from Love Island, literally no one knew him before he went into Love Island, alright? Even I'm a massive boxing fan, I didn't even know of him. And I've followed the Furies pretty much all of their careers, alright? I've boxed myself to an amateur level. I fought one of their cousins, Jose Burton, when he was an amateur, and I know quite a bit about the boxing scene. Never really heard much of Tommy Fury, okay? And that speaks volumes of his actual talent. Now, Tommy Fury, if he loses this, is it going to be as disastrous for him as everyone thinks it is? No, it's not. He gets $1 million or £1 million, whatever it is, and he's literally cemented himself onto the YouTube boxing scene. So even if he doesn't make it as a professional fighter, which is bloody hard, guys, alright, let's not mistake about that, he has cemented himself probably as a rematch with Jake Paul, and definitely fights with other YouTubers of a lesser caliber. That's a certainty. So if he can then break it on the YouTube scene, he's guaranteed to make probably more money than he would as a professional fighter. He doesn't need to have titles. He will make a lot of money out of the game. And potentially, once the Jake Paul saga is over, he will then be able to make more money that way and become more of a household name. But he's already winning, guys. He's getting $1 million basically to fight someone who isn't really too dangerous. And even if he loses, he cements himself onto the YouTube boxing scene, where, in my humble opinion, there's more money involved. It's safer because you're not fighting really, really hard professional fighters, and it's just an all-round easier bargain for him. And coming from Love Island, he's already got a bit of a following in England. I think it's going to be a bit of a prize draw. He comes out of this unscathed, win, lose or draw, with money in his bank, cementing his future onto the YouTube boxing scene. And if he does win, do I see him moving outside of the YouTube boxing scene to be able to fight professional fighters, you know, from a British level up to European level, hopefully onto a world level? I don't think so. I don't think he's got that talent. I don't even see him winning a British title, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I don't even see him winning a British title. It's not because he's bad, alright? I just think he hasn't got that overall talent, that hardness that his brother Tyson Fury's got. Jake Paul's the money guy. He wins the fight because there's more money involved in him winning the fight thereafter. He can have another 10, 20 fights and people will continue to pay this man for pay-per-views. He is the prize draw. So politics will allow him to win the fight. It's as simple as that. He loses pretty much everything if he loses to Tommy Fury. Yes, he can have a few more fights on the YouTube boxing scene, but will he have as much leverage? Will people actually pay to see him box in the hope that he gets beat again? I think he loses half of his fan base just off losing to Tommy Fury. It's as simple as that. So I don't see him losing the fight at all. I see him winning the fight, moving on to bigger, better things in the YouTube scene, calling out some more has-beens, some more bums, and doing it that way. But Jake Paul doesn't lose the fight. And not only that, guys, I have to admit, after seeing him box a few times, I thought the kid was crap. He's not. Alright, I generally think he's a better fighter overall. Not much, but overall a better fighter than the likes of Tommy Fury anyway. You know, the kid, I don't like him. I don't like what he stands for. I think he's milking the business. But if I could do that, that's exactly what I'll be doing as well. And to be fair, he can fight a bit for not having any amateur pedigree. You know, he didn't have 10, 20 fights like Tommy Fury did. So he's doing pretty well. I know he's got money and he's got a great team behind him, but nonetheless, guys, he's doing pretty good and you can't take that away from him. Credit where due, and I'll always give the credit if it's deserved. Fair play to Jake Paul for his success, you know, he is pretty good. But that's my fight predictions. Tommy Fury gets beat. I think he gives a good account of himself, but I don't think he's meant to win this fight, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. We can have a debate about this all day long. I'm sure there's some guys out there on some channels will be thinking, well, he's a real fighter and stuff like this, but I've been in boxing, guys. I understand the politics, and politics in boxing is ruthless. So that's my predictions on the whole subject. Now, here's a bit of a twist, though, and this is me being honest. Where do I see myself in the mix if I was up there with these guys? If I was had the ability to step into the ring with these, I would be more fearful of Jake Paul. Why? Because he's got a good aura about him in the boxing world. Alright, he's only had a few fights, but he holds himself as if he's had 100 fights, as if he's world champion. He's got that confidence. He's physically fit. He has the money to be able to train every single day and work on his craft, and he is improving every single time. I wouldn't be too fearful fighting Tommy Fury. I think he's a bit of a poser. I don't think he's anything like his brother in terms of that natural fighting capability. I think me fit would beat Tommy Fury all day long. Now, I'm yet to have a YouTube boxing fight, alright? I'm yet to even show you any real footage of myself on the boxing scene. So it's really hard for me to comment on myself, and it's easy for me to say that I would beat the likes of Tommy Fury and Jake Paul without even showing you anything. So, you know, my words, I understand, are going to fall on deaf ears. But in my humble opinion, I would definitely beat Tommy Fury. Jake Paul would be a tough fight because he's got momentum, and I need the momentum, guys. I need to be able to get back into this field and hopefully secure myself some form of YouTube fight next year in 2022, because this year is looking pretty slim that it's going to happen, guys, okay? But for all of these people out there who's commenting on my channel saying that I'm clout chasing by bringing up True Geordie and bringing his name into the mix and saying that he's a wannabe Marine and how dare I say this, that and the other. At the end of the day, guys, everyone clout chases on YouTube. Everyone has something to say about someone. If they can't help you, then you've got to go about things a different way. And at the end of the day, when will enough be enough? I've got 200,000 subscribers now. People will still be saying I'm clout chasing when I've got 400,000, 600,000, 1 million subscribers, okay? At the end of the day, you're always going to be chasing someone else, and that's the name of the game, alright? I am looking up to the likes of True Geordie and his success on his channel, so there isn't a lot of hate there, alright? I'm just trying to strategically place myself on the scene, and if it means me using a successful YouTuber's name from Newcastle called True Geordie, then I'm going to do that. I've actually seen quite a lot of success off mentioning his name on a few videos, so hey, I'm going to continue to do it. If True Geordie ever wants a sparring session, wants a fight, then that's something we can talk about. He's the big guy, he's got the momentum, he's got everything to lose, so he probably wouldn't want to fight the likes of me anyway. And for all of you people out there who's calling me a clout chaser, then thumbs up to you guys, well done for saying the obvious. He's obviously a bigger YouTuber than me, but he ain't more successful. There's a big difference between numbers and success, and if more numbers on YouTube makes you more a successful human being, then you guys don't have a clue what success is. I've already ingrained my success in my family name. I was a Royal Marine. I'll just grab my green beret. I've earned this. This was the best achievement of my life, earning that green beret. So I'm not bothered about people saying that they think I'm not very successful and stuff. In my head, I am, and I'm just transitioning over to YouTube now and trying to do something different. But fight predictions, Tommy Fury gets beat by Jake Paul, and if Tommy Fury and Jake Paul ends disastrously, i.e. Tommy Fury gets knocked out, I don't see him fighting anytime soon, but I do see him fighting again on the YouTube boxing scene. That's for sure, guys. Alright, so it's a win-win for both lads, but Tommy Fury doesn't win the fight. And yeah, if you want to drop a comment below if you think I would kick their asses or not, then let me know about that. But I'm telling you now, I would kick their asses, whether it's a street fight or a proper fight. I would do it, guys. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.